All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on our educational webcast on NetSuite financial processes. We'll be going over best practices for journal entries, amortizations, allocations, and budgets. My name is Joanne Casley, and I am your MC for today's webcast. I'm also a business development manager here at GSI. I'm very pleased to introduce our presenter for today, Jennifer Sansky. Jennifer is an experienced business analyst, and she's a NetSuite consultant here at GSI. She has many years of experience working with various ERP systems, most notably JD Edwards and NetSuite, and has a strong background in supply chain and distribution as well as UPK. Jennifer holds her Bachelor of Science as well as a supply chain analytics certification from MIT. Before we get started, I want to give you the opportunity to review our safe harbor statement. And the agenda for today is we will go over some housekeeping items, a brief overview of GSI before I turn it over to Jennifer for the main presentation. And then at the end of the presentation, we'll go over our upcoming educational events and wrap up with a 10-minute Q&A session. The entire webcast should last about 45 to 55 minutes. If you would like to submit a question during the webcast, you can do so through the questions panel, which is located at the bottom of the GoToWebinar console window, which should be on the right-hand side of your screen. Please note that we do address all questions at the end of the presentation. If you would like to minimize your GoToWebinar console during the presentation, just click that red right-facing arrow key on the top left of the console. It looks like somebody does not have audio. Jen, can you verify that you can hear me okay?
I can hear you on this end.
Okay, all right. So it might be their audio. I will go ahead and follow up with that as soon as I turn that over to you. Sorry about that, everybody. So quick overview of GSI. We were founded in 2004, and we now have offices nationwide and a global reach. We have over 100 employees and have been recognized twice by the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in the US. We are an Oracle Platinum partner, Oracle NetSuite partner, Salesforce SI partner, and Oracle Cloud MSP. We are also a founding member of the JD Edwards Global Alliance. We're a full service consulting partner for all of your JD Edwards, NetSuite, Oracle ERP, and Salesforce needs. Our consulting services include upgrades, implementations, multi-system integrations, project recovery, and cloud value assessments. We also offer a broad range of managed service offerings. Our consultants all have an average of 20 years of experience in both industry and business. We have focus on continuing education through our G Academy, and many of our consultants have industry specializations such as PMP, CPA, ITIL, etc. In addition, we are a forward-thinking products company, and we have many popular products, including Genius, which is an advanced monitoring and performance analytics solution for any business-critical system on any platform. Genesis, our load and stress testing application for system design, validation, or expansion that can be used on any web-based business-critical system. G Shield, GSI's two-factor authentication and password reset solution for JD Edwards. Rapid Approval, an enhanced user experience for processing workflow approval requests as well as time and expense approvals in Salesforce. JDE Cloud 9, which is our private hosting solution. And we also have Rapid Reconciler, which is GSI's Oracle validated tool for inventory in transit and received not vouchered reconciliation. Now I would like to hand it over to Jennifer for the main presentation.
Thank you so much, Joanne. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. As Joanne mentioned, I'm Jennifer Sansky and will be presenting the webinar and demo on NetSuite's financial processes. I would like to begin by speaking briefly about NetSuite overall, and then we'll just dive right into the demo. So just a little bit about NetSuite. It is a fully integrated cloud ERP solution that gives real-time visibility across the entire business. NetSuite allows companies to store all of their business information in one location. And with the relationship database structure, it also allows the views of overall processes with easily generated dashboards, reports, and searches. Because it is a cloud solution, it saves the hassle of maintenance and integrations, and it's easily accessible from any browser. It was founded in 1998 and was the first cloud ERP solution, which means it's been around for a while and able to focus on continual enhancements to make the end result just a better user experience. NetSuite is a single data source. So as a company, there is one software to house all aspects of your business. This makes analytics a lot easier. It also means you're constantly at an area where you can grow your ERP portfolio. So you can expand into areas you might not have been into before, like CRM or project management. Less software, of course, means less upkeep and less integration. Also, for those of us who are familiar, less to troubleshoot. NetSuite is highly configurable and highly customizable, and it ensures that you can fit your business needs down to even the terminology. It is a SaaS model, meaning software as a service, as there's many acronyms, and it's hosted all over the internet, meaning you can log in from anywhere. The relational database in NetSuite incorporates unique tables, and then defines the tables with unique lines of information, relates them together by related fields, and results in more efficient use of data storage. The forms in NetSuite are also highly customizable. It's simple to create new fields, lists, and subtabs, forms, and relate them throughout the system and organize them any way that works for you. And this means that NetSuite allows input on those customizable forms that can also relate to other forms within the system. So analytics are easy to run from anywhere and compile information from all over the system. So we're about to jump into our demo environment now, and our webinar today will be focused on how we actually carry out financial processes in NetSuite. There is another webinar that we have recorded on our website and we'll be hosting again shortly on financial reports that are available. If you were hoping to see more about the financial reports and dashboards, you'll want to join us for that webinar upcoming and/or again view that recording from our website. But we're going to go ahead and log into our environment and get started. So I hope everyone can see this. Let me see if I can maximize this just a little bit for everyone's viewing pleasure. I am logged in right now to a demo environment as a US controller. And note that as we go through the system today, everything you're going to see is real-time dashboards we look at and the associated roles. Dashboards, of course, can be personalized for a role in a user and published to others. We are in our controller dashboard right now. And we've got things here like our reminders that pertain to a controller, which of course we can customize up here. We're going to do a lot of focusing today on our navigation portlets. And these are very nice because they allow you to categorize things and have those quick links anywhere into the system without having to go through your menu structure. So we're going to look at the financial ratios portlet. This is down at the bottom. And this portlet allows you quick access to view all of the ratios. Also, see the formula when you click on it, that's built in, as well as get the values that impact the ratio. The scorecard does include metrics built using embedded formulas against core NetSuite data like days sales outstanding, asset turnover, profit margin, sales and debt equity ratios. But as I said, we're going to focus on these navigational portlets. I'm going to go ahead and scroll up here, and we're going to start by the base of our system and looking at the chart of accounts. We'll get there by going into our controller navigation portlet under company setup and chart of accounts. As we are aware, here is where we house the information destinations for our posting transactions, and this is also, of course, going to tie into a report. What I'm going to do in our chart of accounts is I'm going to go into one of our accounts, the U.S. operating. When I scroll into this, this is going to give us a register of our operating account. And I can, of course, toggle my dates down here at the bottom. You can also see here that anything that hasn't been reconciled, we can view those transactions and know what we still need to reconcile in the system. Okay, I'm now going to go ahead, since we know we have things to reconcile, and show you a little bit about the bank reconciliation here in NetSuite. In order to do bank reconciliations, it's pretty much a three-step process. The first thing we're going to do is go into our financials menu and banking. And after we've downloaded that's step one, I'm sorry. Step one is go to your bank and download your transactions for that month and time frame. Once you get into, again, that's financials, banking, and import online banking data, you're going to need to make sure your file is in OFX, QFX, BAI2, TXT, or CAMT format. You then choose your file, the account it pertains to, and click Submit. Once you've done that, you'll be able to go again back into Financials, Banking, and Reconcile Bank Statement. Then you select your account up here at the top, your statement date, and this is very important here, your ending statement balance. So if we just type in, we'll do a fictitious number here. Please notice up at the top right here, we have our last reconciled balance. That would have carried over from a previous time frame. Reconciled this statement and the difference. What you're going to notice is down here, we have transactions. And as we click on them, based on this, again, would load from our bank statement, you're going to see up here at the top, our reconciled and our difference. So that's how you can go in and reconcile those accounts easily from your banking. You, of course, have checks and payments as well to incorporate into that. New charges that you can add manually, as well as new deposits you can add manually. So now I want to get out and talk about journal entries. We're going to stay in the controller role, of course, and we're going to navigate down on our home screen to our navigation portlet. Again, we have 3 set up here. You can really customize this to what works for you. All right, so we're going to go on into our journal entries down under Create New Transactions. And please do note for journal entries, you can do a manual journal entry or you can import journal entries as well. So you can select your subsidiary. We'll go ahead and select US1. Once we do, our currency, posting periods, everything's going to pretty much default in. We'll select our account. Just a nice trick here in NetSuite. We can just start typing our account number. And we'll create our debit column here of 2,000. I'm going to click Add to add that row. And now we've got to go ahead and balance that out. So we're going to key in our credit account. And again, that's going to default in. Okay, so we can select our location as well. And we can add some memos just for a nice way to tie things back. So we would type our memo here. And we're going to add that as well. Okay, so we would just hit save at this point in time and we can save that journal entry. But how about when you have something redundant entries, and you just want to go ahead and memorize those? Well, that's pretty easy as well. From here, in your journal entry that you've created, we would click on the Actions menu and memorize that. So this allows us to set up our frequency, our type, of course, remind me or automatic. So that can just be a reminder that sets and prompts you on your home screen, or it can be something that runs automatically. Your frequency, of course, daily, weekly, whatever it means, whatever you need to do. We can allow our postings in a locked area, of course, if this preference is set in your settings overall. Again, on the override posting date, that's the same. And then you can update prices, addresses, things that you need to. So this is how you create a memorized journal entry. In order to reverse journal entries, this can be done by simply entering the date in the reversal date field. Now that we've looked at journal entries and how simple that is, we'll go ahead and navigate back to our home screen again, and let's look at some allocations. So we're going to come back down to our navigation portlets. I told you we'd be using these quite a bit today. And here you can see under our controller, we have the ability to reach our allocation schedules. We're going to go ahead and view this rent allocation by department. And we're going to click on the destination subtab. So you can see here that we've set up to allocate these costs by GL, class, department, or location can be chosen. And you can choose weight by dollars or percentages here, and set up recurring allocation schedules, of course, within this as well. NetSuite really does have a lot of capabilities here. You can also directly from here create your journal entry. Back here to our home screen, we'll talk just a little bit about amortizations. So again, we're going to scroll back down to that navigation portlet. And it's going to be under the tools menu right here, amortization schedule. And we're going to select this annual prepaid insurance just to take a look at. So amortization schedules, of course, are generated for purchase transactions containing items or expenses that have an associated amortization template. And each schedule indicates the posting periods in which expenses should be recognized, as well as the amount to be recognized in each period. These schedules really determine the journal entries that need to be generated to record the impact of the purchase items and expenses. And for each posting period, NetSuite does provide a list of journal entries required to recognize the expenses. So here you can see on this one, we don't have any recurrences set up. Of course, we could. We would just need to click on our edit to set those up. But we're saying our prepaid insurance, our deferral account is here, as well as our contra and target accounts. Our amortization period is 12 months, and our period offset is at 1. We're also doing this as a straight line by even periods, as you can see right here from our method. I do want to talk just a little bit about fixed assets. Obviously, fixed assets could be something that we could spend an entire webinar on. So we're trying to keep these a little bit shorter. So our fixed assets management, it does provide automated management of acquisitions, depreciations, revaluations, and retirement of fixed assets. And it includes maintenance schedules and insurance. You can import new and midlife assets into NetSuite, and it allows you to track the depreciation, including even the depreciation history of midlife assets. New asset records can also be created manually from purchases, from expenses, or from inventory transfers. So let's go down and take a look at our fixed assets. You can see we have quite a few in here, and we do have them sorted by ID. So I'm going to go ahead, go to ID 137. This is one I scoped out earlier, and click on View. So since fixed assets are assets with a remaining useful life over a year as opposed to current assets. Following the accrual principle, fixed assets are shown on the balance sheet, but their value is depreciated and treated as an expense in the PL account for each year of their life. And you can see here how we've got all of the stats on our fixed assets that are kept here in the asset record. Of course, we also have the same functionality here that we have throughout NetSuite, which is our related records, accounts, and any insurance, maintenance, and tax that goes along with them. All right, so now we're going to touch on budgets just a little bit. And to do budgets, we're going to go into financial. And I'm sorry, I have got to get used to this menu structure a little bit. All right. Maybe we can get there from our Portlet. Yep, right here, banking and budgeting under financial reporting. Okay, so we have all of our budgets when we go to our budget page that are loaded into the system. But let's go in and look at our new budget. It's important to note, just like journal entries, we can also import our budgets. And you can, of course, do that by department, by customer, by item if you choose, by project. The budgets can be as specific as you want them or as high level as you want them. They can refer to your parent company and or a subsidiary within. Of course, you can choose your year. That's always important. You can set up separate categories for these as well, so you can have multiple budgets pertaining to the same area. And you can, of course, also decipher them by department, location, and class. So when you have your budget sheet to import these, they give you in NetSuite a sheet to actually export first to format them correctly. And it will go ahead and update all of these fields for you with whatever you put in through Microsoft Excel, or you can come in and manually do this. You can select your account, put in an amount, and then you can also use things like our distribute or our fill functionality here, which will allow you to distribute these amounts across the month. Once you're done with importing or manually entering your budgets, again, you can come to view them all specifically here. So we'll just go into one. And you can see here that your budgets are, of course, in the system, only to the accounts that are relevant as well. So you don't have that full account list that we were looking at before on import. You're only going to see the accounts that they apply to. Coming back to our home page, let's just look at some of the native reports that relate to budgets. So we can go in and do a budget versus actual report. So this report combines an income statement with a budget income statement of the same set of criteria. Both dollar and percentage comparisons are included. Of course, like any reports down here at the bottom, we do have the ability to flip our dates to and from. Your budget category is also got a hyperlink down here, so you can quickly scroll to a different budget category. Subsidiary as well. And this column functionality is very nice in your report customizations, as you can quickly go to any of the other categories set up in the system to view it. Of course, going in, just like any report in NetSuite, and clicking on Customize, we have the ability to completely customize our budget by adding different rows and sections here at our layout. We can add financial sections, formula rows, header and summary rows, or just regular rows and sections throughout the system. We can also go into our columns, flip these around, import the ones we've added. So if we added any, they would of course appear here. We can shift them left and right. We can provide grouping by clicking on our group with previous columns. Remove columns And again, as long as we have numbers up here in the top portion of our reports, we can build formulas. Notice that when I click on our X and Y, so if I were to build a formula here of the sum of X and Y, would only be allowed to select from X and Y the number or currency fields that are included up here in our report. Of course, we can always filter our reports as well. These filters, of course, can have formulas in them included, so we can filter things on customers that only include certain customers. If we click on our double arrows down under the filters, we could select only the ones we wanted to see. Sorting tab is just like in Excel. It allows us to sort our report, again, by adding our fields first and then deciding if they're ascending or descending. Notice that the checkbox for descending is our indicator for that. And of course, if you do customize this report or any of the others in NetSuite, you will come here to the More Options tab to allow access for those throughout the system. Again, on the reminders, we'll just walk through the quick setup to show everybody, make sure you're aware of how to add reminders here, especially in the financial roles. This is important. So anything throughout the system should show up here in the left-hand side. It wouldn't be a webinar if something didn't glitch a little bit. But you're going to have all the options throughout the system of what you want to add. You simply click on them over here to the left where there's a green arrow normally, and it'll populate on the right-hand side. You can also use the checkbox down here to show reminders with 0 results. However, that's not currently selected, so you'll notice that our only reminders that are showing in this panel are the ones who have an actual amount associated with them. We have 225 invoices overdue. If we had 0, it simply wouldn't show. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and turn this back over to Joanne. Again, please do look out for our NetSuite financial reports and dashboards. We do a much deeper dive into each of the standard reports and, again, customizing a few of those. We also look at some of the KPIs and how we can bring those into our dashboards based on our saved searches. Joanne, I'll just turn it back over to you then.
Perfect. Thank you so much for a great presentation. We are going to move on to the Q&A section of the webcast here in just a minute. So if anyone has a question that they would like to submit, go ahead and maximize your GoToWebinar console right now and put those through. We do encourage questions. So we'll give you guys a couple of minutes and just review a couple of things. As Jennifer mentioned, we do have past recordings of all of our previous webcasts. You can find those on the Resource Center. And if you look on the screen now, it kind of shows you how to navigate there from our website. Once you register, you will have access to all of those past recordings. Let's see here. And I would also encourage you, if you're interested in receiving our NetSuite Insider, it's a monthly newsletter that we sent out via email. Covers a wide variety of topics, all educational. Jennifer usually has an article or two in there and some really great content, and it'll also list out our upcoming webcasts. So now I would like to move to Q&A if anyone has any questions. And as a reminder, as you exit the webcast, there will be a survey that pops up. We do encourage you to fill that out. It's pretty brief. Just gives us an idea of how the webcasts are, what you thought, and helps us with our webcasts in the future. Let's see, I don't see any questions coming through just yet.
There are additional processes anyone would like to see as well. Just let me know. I'll see if we can get those done.
All right. Well, it looks like we've got a quiet crowd today, Jennifer. So again, just if you will fill out the survey at the end, you do go in a drawing to win a $25 Amazon gift card. There's one winner per webcast. It's a little incentive to get your feedback. All right, well, that looks like that's about it. If anybody does have questions that they would like to ask, and maybe not on the webinar, but follow-up questions, both Jennifer and my information is on the screen for you now. Please feel free to reach out via email or phone, and we'd be more than happy to address any questions that you have about NetSuite financial processes or anything else that was covered today. So, Jen, anything else you'd like to add?
Absolutely not. But thank you guys so much. And as Joanne said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us today. Have a great day.
Thank you.